So this one is from Let's Not Meet. Again, got permission. It's titled Crazy Beauty Queen Stalker. This is a long story as it's been over 5 years in the making. I've actually posted this story before, but there are some really good internet sleuths here on Reddit, and they were able to figure out ex-beauty queen's identity and mine too. I don't really care if I give up my identity, but didn't want it to be on my actual account, so I deleted it a while back. The catalyst for me to repost it today on a throwaway is that it's cathartic. Last week, yet another court date for ex-beauty queen Stalker came and went. We'd been expecting things to proceed with her entering a plea of guilty or not guilty, but no such luck. All we got was another vague reason as to why she's not ready and a new court date issued, months from now. There have been many court dates since she has been arrested. It's been over 18 months since she's been arrested for her continued stalking and harassment, and she still wants to drag things on to seemingly try and stay relevant in our lives. To recap, my husband dated a beauty queen title holder of a well-known pageant before me. They broke up long before we met. She was a statuesque blonde, very tall, a knockout in her day, in my opinion. This is somewhat important to the story, I guess. But while she was a dazzling pageant winner on the outside, on the inside, oh boy. She could be charming and beautiful if she needed you, but mostly she treated people around her terribly, including my husband, and he eventually broke it off with her. But she never went away. She would continue to call and email repeatedly, even after my husband and I met. If anything, her calls increased. She would call over and over again, day and night, even after my husband, then boyfriend, blocked her number. She would ask for money and threaten to go to the police claiming he abused her if he didn't give it to her. He obviously did not give her money. This made her very upset. The threats increased and became more malicious. But when that didn't work, she would switch tactics and try and sweetly ask him for help with certain projects she was trying to get off the ground. At this point, she now needed to generate an income, with the promise that, quote, if he did just this one last thing for her, she would go away.
Yeah.
He did not reply. So she would go back to being malicious, any tactic for attention, or for what she really wanted, money. My husband was terrified because, of course, while he never did anything to her, it would be her word over his, and he was tired of ruining his reputation and career. We unfortunately ended up at an event she also attended. She had been waiting for us to arrive and had placed herself near the entrance of the event. As we walked in, she stood across the room, looking me up and down, laughing and whispering into the ear of her date, making a point to try and make me uncomfortable. But that was okay. She was easily ignored until she ambushed me as I came out of the bathroom. She had clearly been waiting for a moment I was alone. She towered over me. She is very tall. I had no intention of having it out with her, and as I hurriedly walked to find my husband, she kept pace beside me, hunched over, so she was at my eye level. I'm 5'5". Her head turned towards me. She was like a caricature of herself as she ambled beside me, smiling maniacally. I didn't know that was a word. Where is your man? She hissed in her heavy accent. Her eyes were black. She looked like a Tim Burton movie.
Oh my God.
Hunched over and with that crazy demonic smile.
Ugh.
Watch your back, pug, she added, grinning. She liked to call me names like Pug because I own pugs, and I guess she thought it was an insult. Well, I didn't know then was while I was in the bathroom, she had walked over to my husband and had thrown her arm around him while he was mid-conversation with someone and introduced herself to the man he was talking to, as if she and my husband were together. My husband unwrapped himself from her clutches and told her to beat it. She then beelined and waited for me to come out of the bathroom. We stopped going to the parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time we ran into her was at a funeral for a mutual friend. She followed me around at the wake. As my husband, boyfriend at the time, was talking to the man's widow, I was talking to a friend and his wife. She walked right up and stood with us, joining us mid-conversation, as if she were a part of the group. It was unnerving, but also just bizarre. It was a funeral, and I did not want a scene. I silently picked my wine glass off the bar and walked away, leaving her with the couple I'd been speaking to and her staring at me with a smirk on her face. All in all, annoying but manageable. She would call my husband over and over, day and night, even though he had long blocked the number. She would drive by. I found my car keyed one night after I left it outside.
Oh my God.
But obviously I couldn't prove it's her. But enough was enough. My husband had a lawyer send a cease and desist. After the first, she called him from a private number. He answered and she said, "Hi, it's me," in a sing-song voice. Literally the way OP typed it, I envision it being like that.
Yeah.
In a sing-song voice like they were best of friends and he hadn't just sent her a lawyer's letter ordering her to stay away from him and his family. He said nothing and hung up. Another cease and desist was sent. Then a third. Nothing would make her go away. She did not actually think my husband was capable of not wanting to be with her because, her beauty. Eventually, though, she got pissed that he was not giving in. So she decided to take this rage to the internet. I knew that she was absolutely checking out my social media, but I don't really use it that much, so I didn't care. However, she created a fake Twitter account and tweeted, "Husband's name is a fraud," and tagged his colleagues, friends, investors, family members, every single person she could think of to try and ruin his reputation and career. On New Year's Eve, she posted on my Instagram account at exactly 12:01 a.m., "Happy New Year's, scrud." Social media settings all went to private. We went to the police armed with the emails threatening to give her money or she would go to the police. She was charged with 2 counts of harassment and a restraining order was put into place. To our shock, the next day after her arrest, our phones were buzzing. The story had made the front page news. Clearly a slow news day.
Yeah.
Her day in court came right before COVID. We arrived at the courthouse and sat down. She walked in. We were shocked by her appearance. Actually, shocked is an understatement. She was unrecognizable from her former self. Gone was the statuesque, dazzling blonde. She had apparently shaved her head and was wearing a short, ratty brown wig. She had gained about 80 pounds, give or take, and was now sort of hunched. With her height and new girth, she looked like a linebacker. To add to her new look, she wore a bulky brown men's overcoat and a scarf tied over her wig, like a babushka. My immediate thought was, quote, "Her outside now matches her inside." But it was her eyes that I noticed the most. About a year earlier, we had shown a photo of her to our kids so that if she ever approached them, they knew to run.
Oh my God, no.
At the time, my son, who was young, commented that she had mean eyes from the mouth of babes. Maybe it was that she had changed so much physically overall, but her dark eyes had narrowed into deep black slits. As she scanned the courtroom and saw us in court, she would turn around every so often to look back at us and glare. She would then whisper in her lawyer's ear and laugh as if she were having a grand time. She had a pair of big, round, cheap sunglasses that she would put on and take off intermittently. When she addressed the judge, she put them on, and he asked her to remove them. We thought she was putting on a brave face and treating it all like a joke, but we were about to find out that getting arrested wouldn't slow her down. The restraining order didn't seem to faze her at all. If anything, it angered her more. From then on, every day and night, she would post from multiple fake social media accounts, posting photos of myself, of my husband. She would put my husband's photos with the caption pedophile or other terrible names that included racist and transphobic comments and captions. To give you a slight idea, she posted altered pictures of my husband, photoshopped to look like he was wearing heavy makeup and referring to him as a pre-op transgender. She posted altered and unflattering photos of myself. She called me old, ugly. Those are the G-rated ones. Listen, I'm no beauty queen myself. The name calling, while obsessive and gross, wasn't what bothered me most, although I'm not going to lie. Seeing hundreds of photos of myself of her fake Twitter account calling me ugly and obsessively pointing out every single perceived flaw did succeed in getting me down at the times. Why did I keep looking? Because I was getting a glimpse into her unraveled mind, just in case it was a clue of what she was capable of or thinking of doing next. Because it wasn't her insulting post that fazed me. What bothered me most were the sinister captions. "Keep an eye on your kids, I be watching." Or, "Why don't you plant some flowers in your front yard?" Or, "Be good to your kids because you never know what could happen." How was your Uber Eats order? She would post pictures of me. She would post pictures of me with an arrow directed to my head, which I perceived to be a gun to my head. She posted pictures of my husband's workplace, which she was not allowed to be within 2 blocks of, in accordance to the restraining order, but the police said this could just be a picture she took from the internet. Sigh. She posted Agatha Christie quotes like, "Every killer is usually someone you know well," or "Your end is near." Her Twitter profile banner picture was taken from a movie poster and said "Stalker," like she was in on the joke. We called the police again, but they asked, and there wasn't anything they could do since she didn't explicitly tag us. I took screenshots of everything. Many of her posts were nonsensical, but most were photos posted of us on this fake account, all altered with derogatory or ominous captions. But we couldn't get her shut down. I became anxious anytime my kids were outside shooting hoops in the driveway. My elderly mother wouldn't take the baby out in the stroller. She was too scared. It affected all of our lives. Life became dramatic. Ex-beauty queen would taunt us with, "Catch me if you can." She posted close-ups of her dog's genitals or a piece of her dog's shit with my name beside it. The implication obvious. It bothered me. She now had a dog, since I didn't think someone like her was capable of caring for anything living.
Right.
Then the calls started back up. This time to our home line. Yes, we still have a home line, LOL. Bitch, and then hung up. Karma will get you.
Oh my God.
And then weird chant-like calls, as if she were reciting a spell. Sure enough, she posted photos of a pentagram and candles as some sort of altar and the caption, "Ring, ring." Finally, the police asked us to come in and give video statements. We gave them a drive containing thousands of screenshots of posts she had made. They arrested her again and charged her with 2 more counts of criminal harassment. My husband was angry at this point, but as Mama Bear, I just wanted to get this over with. She mentioned the kids frequently and ominously many times in her online rants, also calling them rude names, which I won't repeat here because these are the things that upset me most. The judge also issued a social media ban for her. By the time she was rearrested for the second time, her fake Twitter account, which was literally mostly insights or references to my family, had 16,000 tweets in a 3-month period. She has no followers, so they were just to herself. The porn sites I had continuously being tagged on stopped. Things quieted down tremendously, but I still get follower requests that I believe are her. But at this point, we were all on edge. I kid you not, I felt weird walking into my kitchen at night to make a sandwich, feeling creeped out that she was outside watching. I put nothing past her, as nothing is more dangerous than a desperate woman who has nothing to lose, which, by the way, was one of the quotes she posted.
Oh.
I don't know what is wrong with her. I believe, from what I've researched, she is a malignant narcissist. Perhaps some other mental issues at play here, but I can say she was a terrible person long before she decided to try and make our lives miserable. Crazy beauty queen turned stalker. I would love nothing more than to never meet again, but if going to court helps you stay away from us forever, then bring it. As an aside, I wanted to mention that we heard from a reliable source that after my husband broke up with her, she allegedly became known to police for other reasons. While my husband dodged a bullet regarding her threats to go to police saying he abused her, apparently other men have not been so lucky. Since I can't post pictures, I'll leave you with one of her posts. One that may not make much sense, but to us, it was a statement to let us know she enjoys this drawn-out court process. Many of her posts are in her native language, so this was translated. And so it goes, quote, "Violent women and the cruelest never answer questions. They like to continue the misunderstanding indefinitely. So I seek to contact people only in order to torment them. My cruelty is my last attachment to the world."
I don't know.
Whew.
What in the fuck?
Terrifying.
That's it, right? I can't keep going on this. This is like almost more of a nightmare. This is like, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I don't know.
This is terrifying because of the fact that she's posting pictures of her outside of her house getting DoorDash with like an arrow over her head, like a target, like a gun.
It's literally just every possible worst case scenario. Like every possible thing she could do, she's doing. Just absolutely crazy. Can you imagine? Because you would be in fear of everything every single day. You would not live a normal life.
I'd be scared to go anywhere alone. I'd be scared. I'm already scared to go outside in the dark by myself, but like I would truly be scared.
But how about when it's this direct?
It's terrifying. I think this is something too that's really, really, really fucking hard about our modern times is this social media stalking. And that's something Alejandra really talked about because Alejandra went through that. Like most of her stalking was online and there's not a lot they can do about it. Like cops kind of refuse to step in. It's like, oh, well, she could have got it off the internet. Like she wasn't really at your husband's work.
Well, it's tough too because when you're not directly the one receiving the shit, remove like the emotion, remove the fact of being scared and being emotionally attached to this. By law, there technically is nothing going wrong, which is what the downfall, I think, is. But if there wasn't social media, this woman would still, like, she'd be leaving notes on the front doorstep or some crazy shit.
But then there's more hard evidence. Like,
it's
notes on a doorstep, you can actually, like, she had to have come to your doorstep to set a note there. Online stalking is so hard to trace. And it's also like, well, how do we even know it's her? It's kind of like a slough off. Like, it's like, well, we don't know it's her. She's not really doing anything. But yet, this is almost scarier.
No, she is single-handedly, like, ruining these people's lives.
Yeah.
When you start living in fear every single day, you're not living a good life. Like, that's traumatic.
No, stress changes your DNA. Like, it is proven that stress changes our DNA and makes us unhealthy. It causes so many health issues.
I just can't imagine. I'm stressed just listening to it.
I know.
And I'm trying to think about what it would be like to even be in this a little bit, and I just can't. I don't know.
No.
I don't know what I'd do. Because you almost can't even move away, because then she's going to move with. Like, there's no... what's the solution?
And you want to live your life. You don't want to move away and be far from family because she caught...
Right, so what do you do?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Try to fight it the way they are. So top comment.
No.
I know. Top comment. So I'm nosy and wanted to see who she was. So I Googled ex-beauty queen stalker. And literally 4 different women have come up so far from pageants. What the hell is wrong with these people? That must have been absolute hell. Hopefully your family finds peace and that psycho goes to jail for what she's done to you and your family. Stay safe, OP. And OP replies back and goes, I doubt she'll go to jail, but we are hoping for some sort of punishment. She just doesn't seem to think the law applies to her. Our fear is that if the restraining order is lifted one day, she'll go right back to bothering us. It's taken a lot of time and effort to get her to stay away from us, but she's still bothering them constantly.
Well, you're going to live in fear literally the rest of your life. Like, honestly, truly, what can you do?
It's terrifying. Terrifying.
And what's crazy is too, you hear a lot of these stories, and it doesn't even come from a relationship like this one. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I met this person," or they were
random.
You randomly meet someone in life, and then all of a sudden it's like, they're sending you messages, they're doing this, and it's like, it's just bad luck. I don't know, because you're never gonna change these people. You just want to never meet these people somehow.
Which is literally why the subreddit is called Let's Not Meet.
How do you avoid it though? Oh my God,
can't.
I'm stressed.
Okay, well, this one's not going to help your anxiety anymore.
I need some comments. There's no comments?
There are, but...
There's just like, what can you say?
Yeah.
I see... As you kept reading it, I was just like...
More and more blown away.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because, you would be in fear that some crazy ass shit's going to go down. Yeah. Forever.
It's interesting because I think people in the comments did figure her out. Because someone goes, if it makes you feel any better, she looks like a Russian mail-ordered bride. And she does have dark, creepy, dead eyes.
That's not going to make anyone feel better.
No.
It's like... This is a threat that is present in your life that you can do nothing about.
Yeah.
And they're threatening your kids. They're threatening you. Like, come on.
They think she's the Canadian beauty queen, which let's Google her just so we can.
Yes.
Canadian beauty queen stalker. Those are my search terms if you want to Google it for yourself. Former Miss Universe.
I mean, do you think she had this peak and then like can't handle the fact that was then and now there's nothing to do because how do you end up?
This is her. Oh, fucking ads. This is her at the time of her win. Beautiful. Like her eye, I don't think her eyes look that dead there. But
I don't know. She doesn't look like a Miss Universe to me.
Well,
she just looks like some average soccer mom.
What? She was also an executive producer. So she was going and doing stuff with her career.
But what makes you so crazy? I mean, is this truly mental health?
Okay, she looked good when she was in Miss Universe. She's hot. Look at her. Why? How did you, like, this is the halo effect. Like, pretty people can't be evil, but like, I don't know. I think a lot of it could be ego, but I think this is mental illness. Like, true.
This goes beyond just like being mad about an ex or being so like missing someone.
Yeah, no, this is mental illness. Like, to me, she just sounds so unhinged. And the fact that her appearance is slipping now, like, someone who goes to Miss Universe and is very diligent about their appearance, like, her appearance has been her whole life. You don't get to that point unless it is. Like,
well, didn't slip.
Those are beauty pageants.
She went off. That's a mental breakdown.
An 80-pound weight gain, like, that's one of the key signs in mental health, like, in mental illness, is like your self-care slips. You don't brush your hair, you don't brush your teeth, like, all of that stuff. So for this drastic change, her shaving her head, like, this is mental illness to me.
Well, it just spiraled out of control. I mean, maybe the breakup and her being like, really, you don't want me?
Just everything. It sounds like
just spirals into some crazy shit.
Yeah, it sounds like post-pageant life just.
But there becomes a point where, yes, you can be upset and act emotionally after a breakup or something similar.
Yeah.
There becomes a point where you start taking steps that you're doing things on purpose now. Mm-hmm. You're purposely trying to push it to this extreme level. You don't just end up doing this crazy shit. You're making these choices to physically go after people.
No, but again, like, it's a mental illness. Like, this is her fixation. She probably feels slighted. She has, like, this is her point of perseverance. Like,
I guess.
She's perseverating on this family, this person.
Well, and it's working too to some level, to some degree, because they're definitely not living a normal life.
No.
But it just sucks because there's no way to combat that.
No. Unfortunately.
Like harassment, whatever.
Hopefully they get their date in court and it goes well.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to do.
Why?
Because that's just so nuts.
I know, but like, they're safe. They have a restraining order so far. Like,
they're not safe though. That's not
they're
safety.
Not. I take that back.
I would feel the furthest thing from.
Yeah.
And you think about just like us today, working, watching football, going to the grocery store. Every single move you make, you'd have to think twice about.
Yeah.
And you'd just be wondering, you'd be checking your socials. Like, no.
I wouldn't even post on social media anymore. Like, it would be so scary, like, to be out and like posting at a restaurant you're at.
It's just like literal hell.
Yeah. No.
And these people don't deserve it. That's just.
No. That's the thing about stalkers. Like, stalkers, while they might not be hurting you physically, like, they're probably the most mentally debilitating form of harassment, because your whole life, every single part of it is scary. Like, what if they're watching me? What if they're following me? What if this was their moment? Like, yeah.